Fortwah versus ElCalvisimo, losers finals. Winner takes on Pokemon Maker in the grand final. Azumarill into Clodsire first up.
Oh, this is great. But however, we know with that Clodsire, it is running Sludge Bomb. So it's going to take the Azumarill will take super effective damage if it goes straight through.
Yeah, and Fortwah even having time to start the recording partway into the battle. That's very impressive. The Clodsire is going to build up to almost 100 energy before throwing that first Sludge Bomb. 2 Sludge Bombs will be enough to take out the Azumarill, despite it being as bulky as it is.
Yeah, look, it had that buff and that poison does so much. Now it's the Azumarill is going for the Ice Beam. The Ice Beam will connect onto the Clodsire. The Clodsire is only just brought into the yellow a little bit. Just a little bit into the yellow. So the Clodsire now has a little bit of time before throwing that final Sludge Bomb. It will be the final Sludge Bomb if the Azumarill does not shield, which ElCalvisimo just lets that go. Yeah, lets that go because he's got the Claydol in the back. Oh, actually holds on for 1 HP and is able to go for that Ice Beam. I want to know on that IVs of that Azumarill able to hold 2 Sludges and takes out that Clodsire. Just completely flip the game here.
Yeah, the IVs don't matter until they do, but that might be a bit of a blessing in disguise for Fortwah because that the Claydol was going to come out afterwards and just get up a whole bunch of Mud Slap energy, and that it could use that extra energy to really good effect. So I think that does actually work quite well for Fortwah.
Yeah, and it's going straight Ice Beam here. ElCalvisimo not taking that risk, deciding to shield the Claydol.
So Ice Beam is going to do a little more damage than what the Sparkling Aria does. Now Rock Tomb is going to come out in return, and it is going to hurt that Lapras. The Rock Tomb will be shielded, and so the Lapras will have time to get to another charge attack.
Yeah, and look, it's got, obviously, it has that debuff. The attack has fallen, but we can see it still can build up so much energy. We get into that Sparkling Aria, the Sparkling Aria will connect.
And so with Stunfisk in the back for Fortwah, this is a bit more of a good situation for it. ElCalvisimo opting to keep that shield on the Typhlosion because, Typhlosion really does a lot better when it's got shield advantage.
Absolutely. And look, that Typhlosion is now coming into play against the Lapras. We'll see what these Incinerators do so much. It's a water type. How?
It's a water ice type, so those Incinerates are neutral against it, and it is such a high damage attack. Now, Fortwah has to get out of there. He's not going to stay in and get to another Sparkling Aria, so this Stunfisk is going to take out. Now, depending on the stats of these Pokemon, the Stunfisk should be able to survive and get to a Mud Bomb.
It should be able to get to 1, but we'll see how much it holds. Actually, into the yellow, it's surprisingly able to get still retain a lot of health. But you see, there's Incinerators. It's not going to be able to take 2.
Very well done by Fortwah with that timing as well, throwing 4 Thundershocks, which is just before the damage from the second Incinerate carries in, and that Mud Bomb will take that Typhlosion off the field.
It will take it out, man. It gets to the next Mud Bomb. The Mud Bomb will connect onto this Claydol. There's no shields remaining there, Fish.
Yeah, will this KO the Claydol, or will the Claydol be able to get off one more Mud Bomb? It does survive.
But will it be able to? No, won't. It Mud Slaps down, so it means that Fortwah still has his Lapras in play. Will it be able to Sidewave down? Will it get to the charge move? It takes the Claydol down.
Yeah, the Claydol just didn't have enough HP left, and so the Lapras will save the day for Fortwah, and Fortwah does take the first battle of this best of 5.
Yeah, look, and that is so important for Fortwah after going 0-3 against Pokémon Maker. They're getting a little bit of that confidence back. He deserves to be in this top 3 and being able to clinch that first match.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we were saying earlier in the battle, having that situation early on with the Azumarill and the Clodsire really actually set Fortwah up. Really, despite it looking like disaster early on, I think it did really pave the way for Fortwah to be able to capitalize on the lack of energy that the Claydol built up.
Yeah, look, and it was quite a line against Fortwah because it could have gone both ways. However, I think with Fortwah in his previous matches, we can see he's very good with energy management and managed to land it correctly and get that energy just to finish it off in that last match.
Yeah, absolutely. And picking 2 Pokemon that can really stand up to those fires, which I think I really liked that play.
Yeah, and I believe we're now locked into game 2. We've got a Sableye against that Shadow Typhlosion.
Yeah, so ElCalvisimo doesn't normally lead with the Typhlosion, so this is a bit of a change up in strategy here. The Sableye is going to be able to send off those foul plays thick and fast, but the Thunder Punches are going to come at exactly the same pace.
Yeah, look how much of this Incinerate damage is doing. We can see now that Fortwah is going for that foul play, and ElCalvisimo has to shield this Typhlosion here.
The first Foul Play is going to be shielded by the Typhlosion, and Typhlosion is going to get to a second Thunder Punch now. It is going to be able to throw back to back, and I think it's in the Sableye in Thunder Punch range. Maybe not. It's going to be a close one. Fortwah is going to opt to use that shield either way.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough one because we know Typhlosion just gets through these Thunder Punches so quickly. Fortwah investing, both shields, investing in this Sableye.
Yeah, this is a big one because we know that they pace at the same time, but then the little leads that you can get in energy from when you throw your charge attacks can actually flip that.
And it's a tough one here. We can see that the Shadow Typhlosion is down. The Superior comes out. Fortwah is trying to get to that dazzling thing, manages to get it.
And this is just a bit of a consolation damage from the Sableye. It's just going to throw something at Superior and see if it sticks just before it goes down. And then we'll be able to be Vine Whipped down by the Superior. And Superior getting a Vine Whip down on something is actually pretty handy.
Yeah, look, I think that chip damage, or not really chip damage, that damage is really important here. And all these poison stings are doing so much, adding up to that Superior. The Superior has so much energy, is banged to the back, and now that Claydol comes into play.
And so Claydol is going to throw an Earthquake before getting out. Surely you'd think it won't stay there forever because those Mud Slaps will add up very, very fast. Well, I mean, then again, you've got the Unnerving Stunfisk in the back there as well, so that's not any better a matchup. So maybe the Claydol is staying in for that reason, and that can give ElCalvisimo the information of what there is in the back. But Fortwah is giving that energy, that information away anyway, and now it will take an Ice Beam from the Claydol.
It will take an Ice Beam here. The Ice Beam will connect. It takes half health of this Unnerving Stunfisk. Unnerving Stunfisk is able to get to this Mud Bomb. Does ElCalvisimo shield? He decides not to shield, and we'll be able to take this Claydol into a lower health. However, it will endure.
Yeah, so the Mud Bombs are a pretty low damage attack from a low attack Pokemon, and the Ice Beam will come now and KO the Stunfisk, and you'd think that Claydol probably might be able to just clean up the rest of it from here.
We'll see if it can. Now it's bringing it to the Clodsire. The Clodsire is trying to do work. It gets to the Sludge Bomb. The Sludge Bomb is now going through. It will take this Claydol out, but that Superior has so much energy, Fish.
Yeah, that's the way it's done. So the second Sludge Bomb would have come out if you'd shielded the first one. The play is to keep that shield for the Superior, get the Frenzy Plant off. You've got one, you've got two there. Even if the first one doesn't KO, you can even Vine Whip down from there.
Look, and there goes that match. We can see ElCalvisimo cleaning out with the Superior on that Clodsire. We are 1-1. This is going to go to Game 4.
Yay! 3.
Game 3?
Yeah. So there will be 4 games total, right?
Yes, 4
games. Yeah, right. That's what you meant. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, so 1 + 1 is 2. And
okay. Math.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, after this many battles, it is easy to lose track of math, general math. So ElCalvisimo 1, Fortwah 1, and this is shaping up to be a really good series. 1-1, which makes...
It makes 2.
Yes, it does. We are back. We're on top. And so, okay, what do we see happening from here? We did see the line from ElCalvisimo did do really well against Fortwah's team. That Mud Slap in the back against the double weak Pokemon. Really, Fortwah didn't have much to contend with that with.
No, and look, I believe that Superior was the MVP of that certain game, and letting it have such an energy lead and being able to bank that in the back was really, really clever, because really once that Superior has those Frenzy Plants banked, really can't go with anything. Even the Mandibuzz, it does a bit, but it did really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So ElCalvisimo really utilizing a lot of different Pokemon at different times, depending on the situation, which is the sign of a good team, I think. It's really versatile. Yeah,
we're locked into Game 3 here. We can see the Superior. It's against his Claydol.
Yes, Superior's loving this one. Fortwah has the upper hand in game number 3. So the Azumarill is going to come out for ElCalvisimo's side, and it's going to be met by Clodsire.
It will meet this Clodsire. These Poison Stings will add up against this Azumarill. Going for the Sludge Bomb here, and Azumarill is not shielding. It will take on this, but we can see straight switch out. So Fortwah being like, oh, you bought Superior last time. I'm going to bring Superior this time.
Yeah, both players with their Superiors, both of them bringing a really good Pokemon into the matches, and Fortwah completely changing up his strategy for the team line, because it's Pokemon that only one of them is weak to Mudslap from the Claydol, and now that he's called the lead so beautifully, can now line up that Clodsire into a Pokemon that it is much preferring to see.
Yeah, look, I think it's great that the Azumarill is in play for fortwah. It means it can protect it away from the Mandibuzz it has in the back. This Sludge Bomb will connect onto the Azumarill. This Azumarill will be out of play.
Yeah, so alignment is playing a huge role in battle number 3. You'd think the Claydol is going to come back out because the Clodsire has just too much energy left over to farm down with the Vine Whip from Superior.
Yeah, the Clodsire has banked up energy, and now the Mandibuzz comes into play, and the Claydol is going, you know what, I need to try and debuff as possible. Let's go for the Rock Tomb.
Yeah, and the Rock Tombs are the only things doing damage to this Mandibuzz because the Mud Slaps are double resisted by the Flying type. The Dark Pulses, on the other hand, even once they're debuffed, they will still do a reasonable amount of damage to the Claydol. ElCalvisimo is opting to now invest in this Claydol, wants to keep it as fit and fighting as possible for what might be in the back.
Yeah, that's clever from ElCalvisimo. They've been shielding the first one and possibly not shielding the second one because we weakened twice by that point. And then the move will not, the Dark Pulses won't do as much damage.
Yeah, well, let's see how much it does do after having been debuffed twice. And Mandibuzz is not a high attack Pokemon to begin with, so I would think this won't even take it into the yellow. It does just do so, but you can see how much effect the Rock Tombs have had.
Yeah, and look, it's getting to another Rock Tomb.
Ooh.
Yeah, it goes for the catch on the Superior.
And so now fortwah is opting to give up alignment, and he feels like he's done enough with the rest of his Pokemon while they did have alignment that he can afford to do this now.
Yeah, there's energy banked on those Pokemon in the back as well. It has an energy lead on the Superior and going for the Aerial Ace.
And the attack has been debuffed on the Superior, so this is going to be a bit of a difficult situation. You've got less HP, you've got less attack now, and one shield apiece as well. So I would think fortwah's Superior is going to lose this particular matchup, but that can open the door for something to maybe get a farm down, and the energy can come in handy.
Oh, look, that switch clock is coming up on fortwah's side, though, so I think he might want to try and line up for a catch, but we'll see.
So another Aerial Ace is going to come through, and it's going to take Superior into the yellow. The Superior on ElCalvisimo's side has a little bit of time left over, is going to take another Aerial Ace. And wow, this is gutsy from ElCalvisimo, but he trusts that he can survive this extra Aerial Ace, and he does
just so little health there. It's able to go for their own Aerial Ace to take out fortwah's Superior in this mirror match.
Yeah, but that is a fair amount of energy that is going to go to waste. So, okay, so ElCalvisimo banking that now and is going to bring in that Claydol, which is going to shield a Dark Pulse and then hope to try and get a charge attack off of its own to get rid of that Mandibuzz.
Yeah, look, fortwah still has a shield in play as well. ElCalvisimo has no shields in play, really relying on trying to get to that Rock Tomb, but this Mandibuzz can get to that Dark Pulse first.
Yeah, so now Superior is going to have to try its darndest to get the Mandibuzz off the field, but there is a shield on fortwah's side, and he can use it, he can not use it. He still has another Pokemon in the back as well.
He does, but just starts to shield this Mandibuzz, so it means that it will not connect, and it's able to just take that Superior out 2-1 to fortwah.
Yeah, so it got a little dicey in the middle there, but at the start, the alignment from fortwah, that just absolutely set him up for success.
Yeah, look, and again, when you got alignment in your favor, you just got to roll with it. And just like when they switch, you switch. It's just basically you just got to try and keep that alignment as long as possible to go into your favor right until the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And winning the lead in Pokemon Go PvP is like almost half the battle, I feel.
What's the saying? Win lead, win game.
Yeah, right. It's not as true these days as what it has been in previous seasons of Play Pokemon, but it is still a very valid thing, and fortwah was able to capitalize on that beautifully.
So that means fortwah needs one more win to go into the grand finals. ElCalvisimo needs 2 wins to try and stay in the Melbourne regional. Oh, it's going to be really tough for both players here, and I think I'm just so excited. Like it's just we're down to the pinnacle of this regional.
Oh man, and these teams are both really fun to watch.
Yes.
Like they're so unique as compared to what we've seen from everyone else. They've both got their own flavor.
Where's the Drapions here?
Yeah, right. No Drapion. We got.
Where's the Tinkertons here?
We got the double Dark on fortwah's side, which neither of them are Drapion. We've got the double Incinerate, of course, which we've talked about that quite a lot as we get into match number 4, and it is Clodsire into Azumarill.
Oh, this is not what the Azumarill wants. It knows that it has Sludge Bomb for this particular Clodsire variant, but decides to stay in.
Okay, so I'm seeing double incinerate in the back, and that's something we've speculated so much over the course of the day. It is finally happening. ElCalvisimo is bringing out the big guns.
So this is why I believe ElCalvisimo is staying in here. Wants this Clodsire out of play because then it can bring on these fire types, but actually bring the Shadow Typhlosion straight out.
And Typhlosion does have win conditions against a Clodsire, but it's going to be tough with shields up and with an energy disadvantage.
Yeah, will do here. And look, it does have one shield in play. It has shielded once. Goes for the blast, but fortwah going for the catch straight on the Unova Stunfisk.
Yeah, and this is going to do a heck of a lot of damage, but we've seen the Stunfisk can take it, and it is going to probably be able to get to a Mud Bomb. Oh, no, sorry, not before the next attack comes out from the Typhlosion, and it's going to have to go for the Blast Burn because that Thunder Punch is triple resisted. Despite the Stunfisk being on such low HP, you can't go for the Thunder Punch. You have to go Blast Burn.
Not at all. fortwah actually going for the Discharge here to try and connect onto this Typhlosion. It will connect onto this Shadow Typhlosion.
Yeah, interesting going for the Discharge there. Maybe looking to not quite KO, or maybe thinking that there will be a catch on another Pokemon. So now the Azumarill is going to come out and just do what it can, get this Stunfisk out of here, and that's going to clear the way for the Talonflame, and I think that was ElCalvisimo's plan all along.
Yeah, look, now the Clodsire is back, and against we're back in the beginning against this Azumarill. It's going for the Sludge Bomb. The Sludge Bomb will connect onto the Azumarill, and I believe it probably will take it out.
Oh, I don't know. We saw this situation in a previous battle, and I think it did just survive. It did just manage to do it. It's not going to get off the Ice Beam, though, so that Clodsire does have a little bit of energy, and now the Talonflame is not as comfortable as what it was thinking it was going to be earlier.
We've got double fires here. It's going to be such an interesting match. What does ElCalvisimo brings in the Talonflame, and this Clodsire, it's going to bring out the Sludge Bomb because the Earthquake's not going to do much.
It's got almost 2 Sludge Bombs as well. Luckily for the Talonflame, it's not a Stone Edge Clodsire. Otherwise, this would be lights out, so it can tank one Sludge Bomb. We haven't seen the third Pokemon yet on fortwah's side. We know that it is the Sableye, and ElCalvisimo is going to have to use this shield on the Talonflame, which will open the door up for the Sableye. I think fortwah is going to take this out, Debbie.
Yeah, look, we know with Sableye, it gets to its charge move so quickly. If I was sitting in fortwah, I'd be like pretty confident right now. But this fly is going to be launched. Will fortwah shield this? Because it could go before a Brave Bird. But it
does use the shield, and he's got the Brave Bird ready. So he's going to throw that straight away. And how much will this do to the Sableye?
Oh my goodness, this Brave Bird is such a hard-hitting move. Will it take the Sableye out of play? It connects onto the Sableye. The Sableye takes it out. Means that this Clodsire is back out. Even though it's been debuffed, this Clodsire can't endure. We are back to 2-2.
And double incinerate for the win. ElCalvisimo taking that one in very trying circumstances.
Oh my goodness, Fish. We're down to game 5 in this losers final. This match determines who goes into the grand finals, and it's been well played by both players here. So, look, it's whoever wins this is well deserved to go in that grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you do when you're in this situation? Both players, it's do or die for them. They need to win this next battle, or they are out of the tournament. They need to win this to get to the grand final against Pokemon Moneymaker, who is waiting there in the wings and is probably watching very interestedly.
Yeah, look, I think a bit of a prey to Arceus at this moment. It's going to be a tough one, and I think at this stage they both need to just kind of have a bit of a breath, maybe have a sip of water, and just collect in, because this will be someone's last match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the double incinerate line is something you can really only use once. You could probably try it again, but now that
you could try it again. You could try it again.
You're right. But the surprise factor's gone. You're not getting that benefit out of it anymore. So fortwah will have that at the, I was going to say back of his mind, probably right at the front of his mind, that this is what ElCalvisimo was able to do with that line last battle.
Yes.
Are they going to try it again? Do I need to plan for it? And the back and forth begins again, I know that they know that I know they know I know.
Yes, very much so. So it is a bit of mind games, especially it's not common to get a best of 5. You have to be in this upper echelon to even get to a best of 5. So it's, if you're well practiced, you can do well.
We are good to go. Talonflame is going to come out in the lead. Oh, it's going to meet its worst nightmare in the Unova Stunfisk.
Yep, there's a decisive game of 5 here. And look, it's going for the straight switch out. It did get a bit of energy ahead. The fire comes out, and now the Superior meets it.
Look at this ABA Incinerate. ElCalvisimo has gone with 2 Incinerate uses again, but this time the Talonflame is in the lead.
Yeah, and this Swift will connect onto the Superior. Superior takes it on very well, but what has Fortwah got in the back? It's got the reliable Sableye as well.
Yeah, so this Superior doesn't know how lucky it is. If Fortwah hasn't clicked that it might be ABA Incinerate, then he doesn't know how lucky he is to get the Superior into a matchup like this against the Ferret, where it can handle it so much nicer.
Yeah, look, we can see what's in the back, but they can't see what's in the back. So ElCalvisimo trying to take out their Superior to try and basically get one of, Fortwah's other Pokemon out into play. We can see this Frenzy Plant will be launched, and it doesn't go shielded.
Yeah, so the Frenzy Plant will take out a lot of HP from the Ferret, but I think it can survive. It is on the bulkier side of things. It does, and the Superior is now going to have to try and valiantly to get to another charge attack, but the Swift will come out from the Ferret first.
Yeah, and look, Fortwah deciding not to shield, saving those shields for later, which I think is a smart play, leaving the Superior. The Superior will be taken out from the field and is able to bring the Stunfisk. The Stunfisk has so much energy, but the Ferret gets to a Swift.
Yeah, now this Stunfisk is going to be loving life at the moment because it now has 2 fire Pokemon left to play with in the back, but we've seen that Typhlosion isn't an automatic win for the Stunfisk. There is a shield left on the Typhlosion side. Is ElCalvisimo going to use it now, or is he going to save it? He is going to save it. The Typhlosion does survive that Mud Bomb and is might be able to get to an attack. It does try and reach for the Blast Burn. The Mud Bomb is going to come out first, though.
Yeah, look, I think ElCalvisimo might just sacrifice this Shadow Typhlosion here and put all chips on that Talonflame. And the Talonflame is now being brought out. These Incinerates will go through, but it can get to the discharge. Fortwah has so much energy on this Stunfisk again and again.
Yeah, and that's the biggest disadvantage of Incinerate users is they're so easy to play into the timing of your charge attacks. It's so hard to catch a move when you're running Incinerate. It's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for ElCalvisimo, but this can certainly happen. And Fortwah opting to let the Stunfisk go, keeping that shield.
Yeah, look, it's done its job. It has done so much pressure in this game. We need to get that Sableye to just generate so much energy to get these foul plays ready to land it in between these Incinerates.
And this is not a Shadow Sableye, so this foul play I don't think is going to KO the Talonflame. It does survive, and we've seen this already once. The 2 charge attacks coming out from the... Oh, no, okay. I don't know if it's going to get the second attack off because we did see another Shadow Claw come through. I don't know if that damage was already applied, though.
Yeah, we'll see if it comes through after this shield, and it gets to the Fly. It manages to reach the Fly. The Fly will connect onto the Sableye. Will it knock it out, Fish?
Oh, it's going to be close. It wasn't a Fly and a Brave Bird like last time. It does manage to just survive, and one more Shadow Claw does take it out, and now it's Sucker Punch versus the Foul. Wow, the Sucker Punch got the job done, and that looks like a win against all odds to ElCalvisimo.
Congratulations to ElCalvisimo proceeding on to the grand finals 3-2. It means that all the locals are out, Fish. It means it's an international grand finals.
And that was a heck of a match to see. That's been my favorite to cast all day.